Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm really excited. I wanted to jump in and film a video instead of doing like a short because it's usually just easier for me. But there were a couple of new releases that I got that really piqued my interest and I wanted to try them on camera with you guys. So Juvia's Place launched their blushed liquid blush lighters. These ones have some shimmer and sheen in them, and I picked up two shades just like I did the original, kind of more mattifying version. Wouldn't call those matte though. They had a dewy finish, but these have sheen in them. Then I also picked up two shades of the Too Faced Kissing Jelly Gloss, and I wanted to try these because they did come out with some fun shades. And very finally, I am a pretty big fan of Iconic London highlighters, so I picked up their Lit and Luminous Baked Highlighter. Loved me a baked formula. Thought you guys might be interested in seeing what this looks like on. These are really the only products I have to feature in today's video, so it's going to be a shorter video. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's jump into it. So currently these blush lighters are only on the Juvia's Place website. I'm sure they'll drop at Ulta at some point. They do retail for $18 a piece, and currently they come in 7 different shades. The two shades that I have after I pulled them out of the box look very, very similar, you guys. But one is supposed to be kind of an orangey shade. It's Soft Tulip Glow, and the other one is Rosy Posy Glow, so it's supposed to be pinker. But in the bottle, they look pretty much the same as compared to their other formula. I also have one pinky shade and one orange shade, and they do look very, very different. These ones, of course, I told you, don't have any like real pearls to them, but you can see just how pearlescent the new blush lighters look. I am into such a shimmery blush at the current moment, so I'm very excited to give these a shot. So far, the shade range looks pretty darn good, but I kind of imagine they will end up expanding the shade range. So let's do some swatches. Let's do some side-by-sides on these as well. And I wanted to mention that the Blush Liquid blushes come in 12 different shades, as opposed to these ones that come in 9 currently. So I'm gonna take what's supposed to be kind of the more orangey shade. By the way, you guys, like this is what the box looks like, and like here's the color. You know, it doesn't like necessarily add up completely, but what I'm gonna do is take the two that are meant to be both kind of orangish and put them side by side. They are very, very different. So this one is Marigold in the original liquid blush, and here is the one in the Blushlighter in Soft Tulip Glow. And again, this one is Peach Rose in the original wand, and then here is the Rosy Posy Glow in the new one. So these two in the new formula, they look very, very similar, even though the boxes themselves look very different. So I'm interested to see how these blend out. You can see this is a much warmer tone here in the one that's in Soft Tulip Glow, as opposed to this one that's a little bit more cool toned. So I'm going for the more pinky shade first, and I want to buff this in to really see what the sheen looks like on the hands. So you can see it definitely has some pearlescence like in the pigment. I don't think it looks too metallic. I actually quite like the way this looks. It was recommended to me once upon a time to bounce these in with a dampened sponge. So I do have a dampened sponge that I'm going to use on one side. Let's go straight into what I put on the back of my hand here. And we're going to go into this side. Okay, that's really, really lightly pigmented when you really bounce it in. But you guys, isn't that like stunning? I really hope the camera is picking this up. That's what it looks like. Really, really nice. There's a ton of gold in the pigmentation. I hope you guys can kind of see that. That really gives it that kind of metallic, kind of luminous effect to it. I'm going back in. I just added a little bit more. I'm just going to intensify this a little bit. I'm not doubting their buildability here. I just want to add a teensy bit more. And by the way, I didn't plan the eye look around the blush, but I almost never do, so. It emphasizes like a little bit of texture on the cheeks just because it has that radiant finish. But I think it's like mostly in the pigment, because the other ones have a little bit of luminosity. These just add an intense level of kind of a gold reflect about them, and that's why they have this shimmer and sheen to them. But I'm really into that right now, so there are no hard feelings here in terms of like adding gold pigmentation to any of my blushes. It's a tiny bit sticky. It's not like completely dried down just yet, but I really like this effect. This is just a very, very pink color. Let's go into Soft Tulip Glow, which is supposed to be the more orangey shade. Now, dipping the sponge in, it's a little bit extra work, because obviously the doe foot applicator is really just meant to make this a little bit easier in application. This one, again, very gold. This one has even more kind of goldish orange in it. However, I don't recommend going straight into the cheeks with a doe foot applicator because look how intense these look on their own. I feel like even though this one has really that orange pigmentation in it, doesn't it look almost more pink? Like it's more intense. But overall, I feel like they look almost identical on the cheeks. And I feel that we've spoken about that before. I feel like a lot of people have said that some of them tend to look very similar on the cheeks unless you get a very, very different shade, like in the range of shades that they have. But for example, in this case, I was really expecting like quite a bit of difference in the shades that I'm just not really getting. Yeah, I think the soft tulip glow is more intense than this one just overall. I am interested to see if we can kind of tone these down just a bit. You can tone them down, but then that gold sheen, that real pigmentation, like it goes away. I pretty much took all of the sheen away, powdering over it. There might be like a tiny bit left over, but I think the benefit to these is really that kind of pigmentation without it being too metallic. I think it does look really pretty on the cheeks, and I think it does look very different than these ones once it's kind of blended out. These look a little bit more flat, but not in a way that like is unflattering, for example, because I feel like the original actually has some dewiness in the actual formula itself. But I would recommend putting these on and not powdering over them if you want like the full dramatic effect that these are capable of giving. I think they're really, really nice. And I did powder before I laid them down. So with the sponge application, a dampened sponge application, they apply very evenly and nice on the skin. Now let's go into the Iconic London highlighter and we'll amp up these cheeks a little bit more. It's called the Lit and Luminous Powder. It is a baked highlighter. This is made in China. Look at that packaging. It does have a 12-month shelf life, and right now it looks like it's only coming in this one shade, you guys, which is like a pretty champagne shade. It has raised Iconic London lettering on it. Iconic London usually does a pretty good job in the overall look of the packaging. I'm expecting this to be super intense, you guys. That's what I'm expecting to get out of this, but it's not. Look how light that is. It's a really nice baked formula, but it's not overly intense. It's really smooth on the skin though. It is not chalky or powdery at all. Yeah, it's a very smooth formula. It blends right into the skin. I wouldn't say this is like doing anything extra special. It's kind of just a standard nice highlighter formula. Yeah, it blends into the skin nicely. Again, not powdery because it's this baked formula. 29 bucks though, I feel like I can definitely get this somewhere else. I mean, they have impressed me with their liquid and their powder formulations that launched in 2023. So I don't know, I was expecting this to be much more icy and intense, but it's more subtle. I like it, it's just more on the subtle side. Now let's go into these Kissing Jelly glosses from Too Faced, and that will wrap this up, you guys. These come in some pretty fun shades. They do retail for $22 a piece. They come in 6 different shades, and it does appear half of them are just sheer glosses and the other one appear to have what they call with pearl in them, so they're a sparkly gloss. I love the description on the bottle. It actually says Juicy Lip Oil/Gloss Hybrid. They don't mince words with the description of this. It's literally lip oil/gloss hybrid, straight up. I love it. I've been really into those kind of products also. It's supposed to be an ultra moisturizing, non-sticky lip gloss flash oil hybrid that hydrates with natural oils. It's got sunflower and jojoba seed oils. Decent sized doe foot applicator, but not huge. I did try on the blue shade yesterday and they're really pretty. They're really just, you know, your kind of ultimate throw in your bag kind of gloss. The blue just kind of tones down your lips a little bit, cools it down, but doesn't add a ton of color. I've just been into kind of like shifty blues, and here is the one with sparkles in them. The blue shade is in Sweet Cotton Candy, and then the pinky one with pearl is in Grape Soda. Let's start with this blue one. Definitely feels like a cross between a lip oil and a gloss. I can tell you after trying this on yesterday, it doesn't last that long, but it has that really, really nice slip to it that a lip oil does. I would say this leans more on like the lip oil side than it does kind of the glossy side. It is really pretty. Again, the blue doesn't really translate. It just kind of cools down your lips, and they have a very nice fruity scent to them. Let's go into this one. This one's really cute. The flavors are not the same. They're slightly different. Little bit of sparkle translates. Really, really pretty. Yeah, they taste slightly different. Anyway, you guys, that is it. I really enjoyed all of these products. I think Iconic London was probably the least like impactful for me. I definitely enjoy the Juvia's Place liquid blush lighters, or in whatever order they go. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I am out of here for today, you guys, and I hope to catch you all in the next one. Bye.